Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the Psychic Tarot Show here on the Beyond Mystic YouTube, Rumble, and X channels, coming to you live every Saturday morning, noon, evening, depending on where you are, even Sunday morning for some of you. Welcome. Welcome to people from all over the world in our beautiful Beyond Mystic community. Hi, Lupo, Therese, and Lorella, Cobber, Bizgirl, Tatchak. Hi. Lovely to see you all. I look so forward to basically communing with all of you here on Saturdays and seeing what our guides are bringing forward as important information. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm actually clearing the cards. I usually do this before I start, but I thought I got a message that today I would do this process with you. It's just a way to kind of organize. It's another form of shuffling. And when I'm shuffling the cards, I'm basically kind of energizing them with the frequency of what is going on in the ethers at the moment. So it is allowing the energies of the surrounding area, the collective. My intention is tuning in with all of you and your guidance team. So we're gathering our energies and our perspective in this space-time moment, in this shared frequency, aligned with the greater good of all, this beautiful power neutral portal of the heart. That's where I'm tuning in from. That's where I'm inviting you to join me. We can look at scary stuff through that portal, challenging stuff. It's not all just, spiritual bypassing, but how we look at it is always about bringing forward the very best version of ourselves, the very best potential outcome. I felt to share that with you today. So we are looking at the forecast for this upcoming week, which is taking us from today, April 5th, until the 12th, next Saturday. Hi, Mel, Digibean, Johnny, Debbie, Geos and Gems. Lovely to see you all. So many familiar faces, some new faces. Before we begin, as always, of course, I want to remind you to like, share, and subscribe. Find us here on the YouTube, Beyond Mystic YouTube channel. You can also follow us over here on Rumble. We're streaming live on Rumble and X channel. And you can find me to book a personal consultation right here on the Beyond Mystic Consultations page, where you can book a 1-hour personal reading with me. This is a psychic tarot reading. So basically, I'm utilizing the cards. I'm also tuning in with my psychic intuition. I bring forth all kinds of information in these sessions. For those of you that have had sessions with me, you can maybe put in the comments what that experience was like. But we look at anything and everything. We start with a little grounding meditation to kind of get in this beautiful energy frequency of the bandwidth of the heart. And then I do a big picture overview spread, kind of like what we do for the week ahead, only I do that for your life right now, where you're at, what's going on, all the converging energies at this moment, what your guides want you to be most aware of. And that usually takes about 15-20 minutes. And then we go on to looking at whatever you'd like to focus on specifically. Sometimes people say, oh, I don't have any questions. By the time we finish that overview, they have some questions. Or alternatively, they say, yeah, I've brought some questions. And when we look at the overview, a lot of times we start to get the answers to those questions right from the beginning. So it's a really amazing experience. And, if you haven't had an opportunity to do it yet, of course, you can access this coupon code below. Ongoing 10% discount using that coupon. So let's jump into this week. Let's see what is in store. How was it for you last week? Was that helpful, knowing that there could be some tension in the home front, that we could be having to maybe hold our tongue a little bit, not not bite that hook of conflict? um, and of course, seeing these same energies playing out on the global stage as what's playing out in our personal realm, kind of as above, so below, as outside, so inside, and vice versa. Yeah, Cobbler is saying a very challenging week. Thank you, LB279, saying astounded with what you found out about me in my reading. I get that kind of feedback a lot, and it's definitely different for everyone. I don't make any necessarily claims about what's going to come through. There's everything. I channel people's pets, off-worlders, ancestors, like some stuff about life purpose. I get stuff about really, interesting little details that seem maybe even insignificant, except that they are really significant to the person. It's all over the place. Biz Girl is saying it was very helpful to be prepared for last week. Thank you. I noticed it a couple of times. I still caught myself kind of biting the hook a little bit, but it was in the back of my mind, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait for another week when my ability to converse, to communicate, to problem solve, to negotiate is better, right? So that's how it helps us, is to say, that was not the week to do that. Let's see if this week is the week to do that. Let's have a look. We're starting the week off. Okay, so this is a card where we do feel a little bit kind of at the end of our rope. So we're starting off being a bit frazzled, I want to say. This is an energy card. It might help to take stock over the last few weeks, because this is a card which means we've been doing a lot of tying up loose ends. We've been doing a lot of kind of coalescing energies. And this is us personally. This is also out in the larger arena of our global political, economic, social situation. We could get discouraged, going like, oh my gosh, I seem like I'm just spinning my wheels and getting nowhere. I feel like I'm just burning myself, burning the candle at both ends, tired, and don't feel like I'm getting very far. It feels very, very important. You notice this character. Do you see how he looks a bit battered and worn? He's got that bandage over his head. He's like, really? I've got to do more? Are you kidding? Like, I'm kind of done. I'm almost spent. So we're starting the week with this energy of being close to the end of what we have to put out energetically. It's often really important when we get this card to take stock of what you've just done. It's almost like looking back, even over the last month or two. What have you accomplished? So inventory, it's an inventory card. It's a resume card. It is tying up loose ends. It's looking at, what have you done? Because sometimes we just look back at the last week or so, and we go, why am I so tired? I haven't accomplished anything. But if we actually take stock over the last couple of months and start adding it up, that's what that looks like. Okay, here we go. A little brighter in terms of the outlook for how our energy is with our security, our finances. We are making headway here. I feel like this has been well aspected. Excuse me. When I say well aspected, what I mean is that this house has a card in it that is pretty supportive, pretty easygoing. 3 of Wands. So we had the 9 of Wands in the house of Aries, the personality, the self, where we're at. Three of Wands in the house of Taurus, our security, our money, our resources. How do we feel on the ground? Boots on the ground. This is an adventure card. So, we must be doing something right because we're feeling, let's just say, open. We're feeling this energy like, wow, we're on a grand adventure. I was just talking with a client before I came on to do the live about, she had just made a really big purchase of silver. And whatever that's going to do, it's like, it's really a lot about what you value. Those of us in this community, we value these alternative currencies, these new transitional currencies, these high frequency currencies, these currencies that are like have built in them you know high frequency energy, and like they are already carrying this beautiful quality. So it feels like we're getting in line with what real value is and feeling like we're on a great adventure. Yeah. Aw. We've got someone in the chat here that is looking like they've got some anxiety, whether it's a person or, a troll. So sending you love, wishing you well on your way. Yeah. So our next card is the Six of Cups in the house of Gemini. So Gemini is the house that rules the mind, the ability to communicate. It is also where we tune in to receive insights, our awareness, our perception. This is beautifully aspected today. This is beautifully aspected. Six of Cups. So Six of Cups in the house of Gemini is really about sharing. It's about reciprocity and balance. Oh, I'm going to see if I can get this person blocked. Let's have a look at this. Hold on, folks. There we go. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I was just kind of trying to manage something was happening over there in the chat. Sorry about that. I got a little bit off track for a minute. Okay, so Six of Cups in the house of Gemini. Our ability, as I said, to tune in, receive insights. This is, interesting. We have that reflection of someone or a narrative that is about, oh yeah, I'm going to have to actually remove them. Hold on. There we go. So sorry, folks. I got a little disoriented from that, but interesting, right? When we are talking about communication, sharing of information. And I think that it's important to see that when we are working with energies like tarot cards and doing these looks into seeing what's going on, this is not about like gaining power over something. It is not about having an advantage so that you can dominate or control outside reality. This is about learning to observe a larger perspective. I always like to say it is like nourishment for the imagination. It is nourishment that helps us see greater perspective. It helps us see the nuances of things. And when it is brought through the portal of the heart, that love frequency aligned with the greater good of all, It is for the betterment of all beings. It is not about, putting down one thing, exalting something else, taking power from anything. It is about giving encouragement, positive feedback, which doesn't mean that it doesn't look at issues and challenges. It just looks at them through a lens of giving us the courage to go inward and tune into that aligned frequency so that we can move through the heart, because it's like, real power. So this is interesting because it's also about truth and discernment. I'm going to see if I can take that comment off too. Hold on a second, everybody. There we go. This is also about the house where we look at truth and discernment, and the Six of Cups being about the innocence. I always say our natural inner child instincts, our sixth sense. It's not some, masterminding, controlling energy. It is the most innocent part of us. It is the most natural part of us. It is the part of us that isn't trying to control anything or manipulate anything. It is the part of us that is in trust, in harmony, in generosity, in compassion, in peace, in forgiveness, gratitude, all of those things. That's the part of us. And that is where real power is accessed. And I like to say that we have a safety mechanism working with things like tarot cards and divination and, what they used to call fortune telling. If people were doing that to gain advantage, to try to manipulate outcomes and so on, and they weren't doing it through this beautiful power neutral portal of the heart, then it was more lower frequency energy that could draw in other lower frequency energy. So this feels like in the mind, in the discernment, we navigate with the purest part of our heart. And when we navigate like that, we do know what's right and wrong. There is a kind of a universal spiritual ethic that we tap into. And it is that place that real creativity, real, evolution and potentiality emerges from, so innocently, so naturally. So I'm really encouraged that we have that Three of Wands there in Taurus, this Six of Cups in Gemini, meaning we're coming back into a place of natural empowerment, I want to say, and awareness. So this is very good news. Okay, next position in the house of Cancer, home, family. So last week we had that anxiety there. This week, things are moving again. Things are moving in a good direction. There may be a lot of creativity, a lot of activation, a lot of energy. It does feel important to not just talk. So far, we don't have a single sword here this week. So moving energy, we've got 3 wands so far. Physical activity, breath, creativity. And if you are reading or doing research, wands represent spirit. So we're focusing more on spiritual information this week than we are on sort of more on the metaphysical than on the physical, if that makes sense. All right. Yeah. Then we have coming in on the house of Leo. Yeah, Digibeam is saying more fire. Lots of fire. Which is lots of chi, lots of life force. And for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, this is springtime. So this is very natural that there's all this fire energy. We are in the month of the sun in Aries, which is new beginnings, new growth. When you look at these wands, do you see that? All the little growth on the ends of each of those wands. This card is called swiftness. It means there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of energy coming towards us. So, it is another great time to do some changes in your home, move things around, shift the energy, do a little bit of feng shui or cleaning or whatever that looks like, moving the energy. Now we have our first major arcana card coming in the house of Leo. And it feels to me, Leo is a lot about our courage, our willingness to stand in the limelight, to receive our calling or our direction from the universe. Oh, Helen is saying there's no live feed on the Rumble. Shucks. My apologies, people that are trying to tune in on Rumble. I'm not sure what's going on. We've definitely got some activating energy. All of that wand energy is stirring the pot with things coming in, trolls and and Rumble not working. My goodness. Okay. Thank you, Helen. I will report that to the higher ups, but oh yeah, keep refreshing it and it works. Oh, Digibeen is saying Rumble is fine. Okay, so thank you for that. It might be someone in particular who's doesn't have it working. Linda saying Mercury retrograde, LOL. We are so close to that being finished, by the way. I think it is on Monday or Tuesday that it stops. Is that right? I think that's when it stops. Anyway, here we go. So our house of Leo, receptivity, and we have a very, very kind of big card. It's the first of the major arcana for this week's forecast, the Hierophant, which, we'll see how it's aspected on the other side. If it's well aspected, it can be education. It can be finding a teacher or a mentor. And it could also be, the feeling I'm getting is that you may have a really big message this week about what it is that you're going to be offering or teaching, what your purpose is, what your calling is. You could have a really big download this week. We call it downloads. It's like where all of a sudden a full system just loads in for you and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been asking this question for months, maybe years, and all of a sudden I see it. I'm receiving the whole teaching, the whole picture. So it's very possible that you would, be drawn to something this week where you absorb an entire teaching. It's sort of like, a weekend course or a very short course that's immersive. It's also really possible that you could receive a big download about your purpose, even perhaps a system that you'll teach or a fully developed idea that you download this week. So that's really cool. Yeah. Digibean is saying, yeah, downloads and upgrades are happening at least weekly now. Definitely. And when we see something like that, where we're all getting them, to me, that feels like, if we go back to this Nine of Wands, it feels like we're doing something right because we're obviously opening the channels so that we can receive things. And I actually did have a client asking me about this phenomena this week, about downloads. And what I was saying is that when you get, offered a mission or receive a download, it, I think they've been such a rare phenomena for many of us for a lot of years that we get it and we think, oh my gosh, I've got to act on it. I've got to stop my life and make this my top priority and so on. And as Digibean is saying, these things are coming very rapidly. So what I get is it's important to kind of note it, record it somehow, and then, file it. You may get more pieces to the download in the weeks and months ahead. You may get some other download that maybe is going to even take precedence over this one. So it doesn't mean that you have to go and do it and complete it right away. It just is, when the downloads come in for me, I say, thank you so much. I used to get really sort of anxious and feel that I had to do something with it immediately and that it would never come again. And that was my one and only chance. And now I realize, oh, actually, it's kind of like, yeah, the guys are saying it's like, you get your subscription in the mail and you say, okay, I might read that this week. I might not read it till 3 months from now, but I'm going to put it somewhere special. And when it's time, I will act on that. So I feel like that's important for all of you to not feel that because something profound comes through either in a dream or in a download that you have to do something with it right away. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. What to teach has been a very big question. Something, everyone, I think in our community, so many of you are teachers, your mentors, your guides, and your healers. And almost all of you that I consult with one-on-one, I see that you have many skills. You have many talents, many skills and abilities, just like a person that has many tools. And that's a great thing. You're developing a toolkit and it could feel like it's just too much and a lot of overwhelm. But what I'm hearing is everything has, its time and its purpose. And things don't always come in chronological order. That's the other thing, right? Things come in, it's sort of like art. If you're an artist and you create, it doesn't always, things don't always get created in chronological order. Like if you're a writer, sometimes you write the middle of the story and the end, and then you go and write the beginning of the story. Like things don't always line up the way we think rationally that they should. Yeah. Thank you, DigiBean, for that great description of what a download is. Knowing something all of a sudden and not knowing how you learned it is a download or an upgrade. Thank you for that. Okay, so here we are. We are in the house of Virgo, our health, our habits. We've got a sudden reversal or change of direction. I want to look at what's beside it and across from it before I make any speculations about this. So bear with me on that. Okay, so we have Strength card in the House of Libra. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at that. We had no major arcana, and now we have 3 in a row. So Leo, Virgo, and Libra, more major energy. Leo, what our courage, our ability to, stand up and be counted. Virgo, the details, the habits of life, our health. And Libra, our agreements, our relationships. And so we got strength there. It feels like, we've got the 8 of Wands here in the House of Home and Family. We've got strength here. So whatever you may have been biting your tongue about last week, folks, there is the strength to work through it this week. It might actually dislodge itself so effortlessly, is what I'm getting. So be gentle, be patient, but be firm, stay grounded. And, it's a little bit like once things get rolling, a lot of progress can be made. I'm really being brought back to this 9 of Wands at the beginning of our wheel here and how it can feel like we're not getting anywhere. I think by the end of this week, there's an energy block that is released, but it isn't released in a like in a violent, intense way. It's just sort of like suddenly energy feels like it's rolling again more smoothly. I mean, so far, yeah, we have the 2 eights here. We have the 8 of Wands in Cancer and the number 8 Strength card in Libra. Eights are about building momentum and manifestation. So in your agreements, it's not just about your relationship with your family and friends, partners and loved ones and so on. This is about your relationship to source. It's about your relationship to the earth, to the animals, relationship to consciousness, and even to the political narratives, to the world stage, to people from other parts of the world, interdimensionals, all of it, right? This is relationships in general. It does feel like by the end of this week, you are getting a better take on how well you're doing. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah. It's like you go, oh, you get a lot of feedback this week, either directly or indirectly, that you really have made progress. And it's so interesting to me that we're bringing this energy into the week, but I think out of this week, we're taking a, wow, good job. We are seeing how much stronger we are than we thought we were. Oh, this is just so delightful. Hi, Gemma. Oh, yeah. Love it. Isn't that wonderful news? Mm-hmm. It is wonderful news because, we're okay holding the line. Remember, we had that holding the line card last week. We're okay with that, but it really does feel good when you see the progress you're making. It it gives us good incentive to keep holding the line in the future, right? Okay, Scorpio, patience. It helps us be more patient when we see progress. You could actually call the eights progress cards. They are like indications that we are making progress. And that does give us the capacity to be a little bit more patient in the long run. Endings and new beginnings, Scorpio. We are ending feeling frustrated with how long things are taking, and we're starting to actually, I want to say, luxuriate. My dear friend Tanya from Adventures for Connection, we do these journeys, and we're going to be going to Egypt in September, and she is amazing talking about the sleepers, the people that are still sleeping. And she's like, basically let them sleep. We got the beach all to ourselves. Like there is something about, she's got a great perspective on that of, it's beautiful. It gives us more, in a way, room to grow, more elbow room. It's like we get to be the first ones in this new paradigm, this new version of reality. We get to enjoy this before it gets too crowded. So that's what this feels like to me. This is like in that Scorpio house, we're going, actually, I like that I get to be here first. I like that I'm a spiritual leader. I like that there's lots of space to take my time to meet my new community, to get to know each other, to build these weaves of connection, and not feel pushed, not feel rushed. How we go into this new era is as important, in fact, probably more important than when we go, because it's all about frequency. So if we go, but we're in old frequency, we're probably going to slide back a bunch of paces, right? Yeah. right? Working under the radar of the normies or over. You know, like we're just in our own realm, which is really, I think it brings me back to the Six of Cups here. It isn't about having control over things, it's about not needing to have control over things. It's like, wow, we get to a point where we realize actually it's so much more effortless and enjoyable for me to relinquish the need to control everything. And then I get to actually step into divine frequency where miracles and magic start to become the normal reality. Oh, everybody just take a breath with that, right? Above their vibe. Linda says, I began to call them sleepies. Yeah, right? It's okay. Let them sleep. We got the beach to ourselves. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we are now in Sagittarius. Oh my gosh. Relax and enjoy the ride, Sandy is saying. Yeah. Oh, share Tanya's website link. Okay, I will do that. It's called Adventures for Connection. I think it's adventuresforconnection.com. If somebody would look it up for me while we're doing this and pop it in there, that would be great. Thank you. I can only do so many things at once. Reading comments, channeling, putting cards down. Okay, so where are we? We are with Sagittarius. I'm so excited. You've heard Meg talk about how there are positions in the astrology wheel of houses where, oh, that planet loves to be in that house, or this is a well aspected transit. Same with when we put a tarot card into a different house, right? Sagittarius is about freedom and expansion and, spontaneity and adventure and higher philosophy. It doesn't like to have big baddies in it telling it what to do, like Four of Pentacles or the Emperor or like this Hierophant guy or, would be any of the really disruptive cards. It's like, I don't like that. It likes freedom. And the Fool is all about freedom. So I think we're going to feel a sense of liberation this week. We've got the Six of Cups across from this. Wow. Are you even just looking here, everybody, at the colors in this wheel this week? Wow, just so many oranges and yellows, and it's very uplifting, right? Vibrant, but also light. Love it. Now, I also want to say that we have another channel heard from. We've got both the dog and the cat here. You see that? We've got the little dog, the Fool's little dog, and the lion, which is basically a big cat. I mean, they are two of the major animal cards. So when animals come into a reading, which I had a lot of pets come in readings this week, by the way, when they do, they often come in on one of these two cards or the Queen of Wands with her little cat. And because these both are here, and this one, this Lion Strength card is in the house of relationships. And I was talking about relationships with the natural world, with the plants, with the animals. Really feel the animal realm this week. Our domestic animals, our beloved pets, family members, and the wild animals in the wild, all of them. It feels like extraordinary connections this week, extraordinary where they will be open to sharing with us, sharing strength, doing just like really connecting in a beautiful way, and messages and guidance and support coming from our animal allies. And like I said, this was a theme this week. I had, I don't always have animals coming in readings. I've also had more and more obscure animals coming in. I've had people's turtles and their chickens and it's like with really specific messages that even are like, actually real things that are happening. And the person's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what's going on. And so I think the lines of communication between the species are really opening. And whether this is going to continue and be a long-term, like forever and ever phenomena, or if this is like a rare window and then it might, close again and then open again, I'm not sure, but it does feel like, and if you have the opportunity and you're open to it, this could be a great week to explore animal communication, to talk to the animals in your neighborhood, the wildlife, talk to your pets in a new way. They may be open to hearing what they have to share this week. Oh my gosh. 6 of Swords in the house of Capricorn. Very interesting. Remember I said here that we would get a sense, maybe even an idea about our life purpose and where we're going with that. This is a direction around your self-actualization. So you may have some really important conversations or processing around your purpose this week. If this came up in someone's reading this way, and everyone, I mean, the biggest question I get asked is about purpose and, how to actualize and when to actualize different aspects of our purpose. If this came up with the Hierophant in Leo and the 6 of Swords in Capricorn, I'd be like, wow, you are going to get a really amazing download about your purpose. And you're going to have an opportunity to process, talk about that, and kind of start moving in that direction. It would be like pretty much the best cards you could have to suggest getting a direction finally. How many times over these last several years have I said, I'm sorry, our purpose is not clear right now? It's like, someday it will be. Guess what? This week, you're probably going to have a lovely window of view of your purpose. Wow. Wow. I mean, if that is not something to celebrate, like with this feeling like I'm not getting anywhere, I'm just spinning my wheels, I'm burning myself out. If you get a big download about your purpose and you can not only see it, but you can actually see, because 6 of Swords is moving out of troubled water very purposefully, right? So you can actually see where you're going. You're navigating in a good direction. And there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of thinking around that, right? So we've got this 6 of Cups in Gemini. Oh my gosh. Like the channels are open. This whole reading has been about communication through the heart, getting messages, getting downloads, seeing our purpose. I mean, woo! Wow. I'm just going to check out the comments. Are you all as excited as I am? Yeah. Yeah, Tarot by Lupo, right? Yes. Excited for this. Oh, love it. Moving into calm waters. Animals seem much more intelligent now, or am I just now noticing? Sorry, I was just zipping through those comments. Yeah. Well, let's just say they're noticing us, noticing them, noticing us. Who knows which came first, but it's happening, right? So maybe it's happened simultaneously. Very, very cool. Wow. So exciting. Okay. So in the realm of friends, allies, let's see, we got a cross from the Hierophant. So, Friends across from the Hierophant, processing. Um, so there's something here. This is in the House of Aquarius, friends, network, allies. There's going to be deep process this week. Interesting. I have a friend coming and staying with me this week. So we're going to do a lot of deep sharing, but also both of these lined up together would be also like engaging with some kind of professional therapeutic guidance, whether it be intuitive or some type of therapy. I know for many of you it's like no way to psychology, no way to traditional counseling or psychologists and therapists and so on. We have whole new types of therapists emerging that are much more high frequency, much more evolved. And these are somatic therapies. They are, it's not just talk therapy. It's not just talk about your issues. It is like almost more therapeutic process, which is kind of where therapy turns into healing, right? It's no longer therapy. It's actually a healing process. And the more that those two are blended, when you're looking for someone to support you professionally, the better it is. So this just really feels like coaching, counseling, therapy, really great to maybe even start the process with your friends this week, but know that everyone is kind of going, yeah, let's go another level with this. Let's go deeper. And it's a great week for that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I just saw a little glimpse of the final card and I was like, we just made it around the whole wheel and all the cards are so encouraging. Oh, I'm honestly going to get off this live and go do a happy dance. I promise you I will. Please do that with me. Please just go and wave your arms and sing and dance and say, hooray! I am so grateful for this life. We have made it this far. It doesn't mean there's no more waves ahead, but it's really a time to take stock and go, yay, we are doing this. 9 of Cups in the House of Pisces, right? The wish card. Beautiful. Yeah, the wish fulfilled in the subconscious across from the Wheel of Fortune in Virgo, like habits. Remember I was talking about habits, health. What is this about? It's like we will start to feel this week that our intentions we're getting so much feedback from the universe. We're on the right track. We're getting feedback from other people about how they appreciate what we've done. We're just getting so much incredible, nourishing feedback. And pay that forward. Give the feedback out to the universe. Say, thank you to your pets. Thank you to the people that have loved and supported you over these last few years. Thank you to your guides, your spiritual allies. Thank you to your friends. And, express that gratitude and then imagine your wishes. Like, again, look at this. We're at the 9. We started with a 9 and we ended with a 9. We started with the 9, which is I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm running in circles. I'm getting nowhere. I'm just burning myself out. And we end with the 9, which is like, actually, I'm at the, I'm in the last lap. I'm already there. Actually, I've already crossed the finish line. I didn't even realize, right? This is beautiful. We start the wheel here and we end it there. Incredible. Incredible. And look at the colors. I can't even remember the last time we had a full week wheel that didn't have like really anything anxious. So this health area, right? Shifting, things moving, sudden things coming and sudden things going. So if suddenly something is happening in your health this week, bless it, release it, like allow things to move and know that a lot is moving, a lot is clearing. Yeah. We have a straight 2 8s and 2 9s, right? Yeah. 2 8s and 2 9s. So 2 of a kind, the way I work is that 2 of a kind is about mastery, and it's mastery of whatever that number is. So it's mastery about tying up everything, synthesizing the 9, right? The whole 9 yards, the final lap. And then the 8 is that productivity, manifestation, the power, the momentum. Beautiful. I'm just looking at if we have it. We also have 2 6s here. We have 2 6s, 6 of cups and 6 of swords. So we almost have a, we have 1 7. I was going to say, oh, we almost have a 6 7. Well, we do have 6 7 8 9. Notice, right? Not a lot of the smaller card numbers. There's only just this one little 3, which is in the area of finances and resources. All the other numbers are pretty high up there. So again, it is this quality of we are making incredible progress. Yeah, we're making incredible progress, and you're going to feel that this week. You're going to feel that. And like I said, go out and do a happy dance right when we get finished here. Just go and shake and laugh and hoot and holler and say, woohoo! Oh my gosh. And we ended off in the middle with empowering choices. So it's so interesting, right? Like when we look at earlier on, and that's another 6. So now we have 3 number 6 cards. 3s are a blessing, and 6s are the energy of harmony, sharing, service to humanity. And we had that person come on earlier and disrupt the energy here, right? And can we see that as being person or a troll or a robot or whatever the heck it was? Can we see that as being an opportunity for us to practice what we know is our truth? And it is that balance. It is that beautiful. I always say that the 6 energy is that Christ conscious energy. It is that energy of like compassion. We're not fighting. We're blessing that energy that is out to attack, to diminish, to cancel, to control, to manipulate, to dominate, whatever that is. We are offering it love. We are blessing it and sending it on its way. We're letting it just roll off like water. We are not confronting that. We're, in that energy of harmony and the naturalness of our human hearts. Yeah, beautifully balanced. So what a full circle. What a full circle. Aw, yeah, the 3 6s, the number of man. Thank you, DigiBeing. An opportunity to observe ourselves being confronted. Yeah. Yeah. We'll do a little happy dance. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Tarot by Lupo. Really lovely to be here with all of you. I always enjoy it. Some weeks are easier than others. This one is such a blessing and a gift, and we so deserve it. whatever's coming next or following this is a moment to like step into gratitude and harmony and peace and forgiveness and woohoo, go do a happy dance. So before we say goodbye entirely, I will, oops, I think I forgot to do my halftime. Let's see. I'm going to bring things up here. There we go. So there's my reading. You can book with me. Use the coupon code below. Of course, you're going to, as always, please remember to like, share, and subscribe over here on the Beyond Mystic YouTube channel. And check out the show that is coming up tomorrow, which is right here with Meg, our lovely Meg, Beyond Astro Weekly Forecast. And that is April 6th, tomorrow. Okay, I'm also bringing your attention to, hold on, of course, following us on Rumble and X channel. And just a reminder about the annual membership Insider Access Pass, which is still a 50% discount. And finally, we are looking at Ascension Organites. And there is, I believe, a discount on that. Let me just go over, check. So the Organites, it's 10% off with promo code Beyond Mystic, all capitals. And the Beyond Mystic IAP, I'll give you the code for that. It is 50% off using promo code SPRING, SPRING 50. Beautiful. Have a lovely week, everybody. This has been such a delight. I look forward to hearing all your news next week. Bye for now.